All right, guys. Welcome to Vermillion Vitez, where we empower you to build and protect your legacy. I'm Vinicius Paschoalini, and this is my chief consultant, Raimundo Marques. And today, we're going to be talking about credit, benefits of credit, the importance of credit, how do you get credit, and how to preserve your credit for your future business projects. All right. So, I'm going to start off the questioning by saying, Ray, you are the guy that I know that knows particular topics about credit enhancement, credit building, credit stacking. So let's start off with the simple basics of, do we need credit? And what is credit good for?
So, do we need credit? If you want to borrow money in today's market, you want to get your credit score up, right? That's just one of the few things of this market that you need to understand, right? You need to understand that in today's market, credit is very important. If you do not have your credit score up, you won't be able to buy a house. You're not able to buy a car, and you are limited for sources of funding, right? So, Benny, I would like to ask you in return, what areas of credit would you need to be able to go to the next level? What are other things in a personal credit score that a consumer would need to have to transition into the business realm?
Huh. Good question, Ray. I mean, lines always help, right? Credit lines, some loan applications, okay, personal loans, but Ray's going to talk a little bit more about that, about the PG. But main thing for you to take that next step would be credit lines, right? Maybe you want to get $20,000. Let's say you got $10,000, right? Buy it all on stocks or put it into a savings account or investing account. You could also get a credit line from that money. The bank will freeze it, and then they will give you a credit line based on the amount of money, or maybe 75% of the money you have there. And that is also good for you to build credit for the next level. One disclaimer that we forgot to say, Ray, the content on this website and what we're sharing is for educational purposes only. We are not considered legal, tax, or financial advice. Please consult your CPA, attorney, or tax guy. Educational purposes only. Ray, so tell me a little bit more, like, okay, we got credit lines, right? We could do credit cards, but what would be good for a person to have? Like, what would be good for me to have if I want to future on establish my business?
So, one of the few things that you want to get is a personal loan. A personal loan is one of the few things that will help you establish getting larger lines of credit for your business. They want to see that you're able to borrow money, pay it back. Why not pay it back a little early, right? If you pay it back a little early, they will extend you more credit. Extending those credit limits to higher limits and having 3 good major cards, essential cards, making those 3 essential cards at high limits, right, will have you, the consumer, at a good pace. It will work for you into your favor, and then at some point in the game, you have established an amount of history, you have established things into your report. You might have gotten 1 or 2 trade lines, and now you may be able to qualify to go get a mortgage, a house, right? Yes, you could go get a house. You can go ahead and get a brand new car and all these other factors. Now, let's speak to the consumer real quick, right, Benny? Say your credit isn't good, right? Like, and let's just you and I have the conversation, right? So if your credit score isn't good right now, Can you do anything with that? Like what? It's hard, right?
I can't even get a credit card sometimes. When the credit of the person is bad, you can't even get a credit card. It's just been there, done that. Don't want to be on that level again. We want to keep our credit level above 700s. Ray reaches 850, 820, 815. Ray is incredible. But yes, credit is everything, even with a person.
A lot of different things that creditors will check. A lot of people will be able to get credit even at bad credit scores. They'll have collections, but that's because they have a job. They work. They are producing for the market. It may not be producing at a certain level. The market will tell you what you are worth. Your credit score is just an indication of the level of what you're worth to the market. I just want to make it that simple, right? So if the bank doesn't trust you, then no one trusts you.
Correct.
Right? If you have all these lines of creditors willing to extend you credit, now you can do business. But what do you do with that money, right? What do you do with that money? That's the number one thing that you want to ask yourself when taking this approach. So, Vinny, you like understanding how it is to have, like, back in the day, right? You come from humble beginnings, sometimes it was tough, right? When you have bad credit, right? Do you pay back the debt if it's in collections? Does it help you to pay back the debt if it's in collections?
If it's in collections, man, and you want to grow a business, you're going to struggle. If your credit is bad and everything is in collection, you're going to struggle. We could fight it, right? We could contact a credit agency and they could fight for us, right? And maybe we could get those charges dropped off. There's a lot of different ways, a lot of different companies that does that, but that will impact you so much. It's like it makes it impossible for you to obtain a higher credit limit if you got all those negative items, all those other inquiries on your account. So we really ought to pay those off if we have the money to. If not, you could go the other route, which is fighting if you got time, but paying it off to move on to your business setting, that would be more likely road that I might be able to approach and our viewers as well.
So I would
what
say
do you
this.
think?
I would say this. When it comes to paying off a collection, right, you don't actually owe the collection agency anything. You didn't contract with the collection agency. So if paying that debt to the collection agency, you do that and you think it's going to go away, poof, gone. Where'd it go? No, it's not. It's going to still be on the report. It's not going to help you any. So you have to negotiate certain terms with those collection agencies to get it removed off your credit report, right? This is just one of the few options that you have is negotiation, right? Everything is negotiable. You can use CFPB, BBB. You can write to Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. You can go to these major credit bureaus, right? And if we didn't get that straightforward, what are the three different bureaus? That is TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. Okay, so those are the three bureaus that go to, I think they're called factors, right? Furnishers. So there's furnishing companies that grab your information, the data that they collect from you, whether it be on the web, whenever you applied, yada, yada, yada. They collect it and they release it to these bureaus. So you have LexisNexis and the checks system, right? You have all these different systems and you got to understand where they play their roles.
Which I heard also you could put a freeze on LexisNexis. Am I correct? I believe on the past we have done that. Pretty sure we freeze all of it. They can't find out where that debt is coming from and this and that, right?
Yeah, that's one of the few things you need to do, but you also need to remove it from the check system to make sure you're able to apply for brand new credits, right? So you want to check out all your reports in the major areas. So yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, right? When it comes to where these reports are coming from, They're data points. There's data areas that collect them from the furnishing company, right? The furnishing company collects the data and then releases the data to the three credit bureaus.
So,
Some of that information will be incorrect.
so
Like Benny,
do you
is it legal?
use CFPB to file complaints, or you send letters to them? Like, how would be a good approach?
You could do CFPB. That is an option, but you need to go check your credit report first. You need to look for inaccuracies. It's illegal for them to have inaccuracies in your report, right? It's a part of the FCRA law, right? Fair Credit Reporting Agency, right?
I see.
Or no, Fair Credit Reporting Act. Yeah.
Now,
So
if I were to say to you, Ray, I got bad item on my credit account right now, like I didn't pay a credit card and it's went to collections. How can you help me, Ray? Help me.
So, if I were to help you in this situation that you've gotten yourself in, one thing you need to know is that you have been irresponsible and you need to restore integrity, right? When you restore integrity over the fact that you're going to handle this now you have to, first step, go check your credit report and see where they are reporting this debt. It may not be in all three. Sometimes I would just check for the inaccuracies, send a complaint through CFPB or through the actual Equifax TransUnion and Experian. First things first, you might want to block those furnishers, right? And then that would be LexisNexis. There's multiple steps to this. You want to look this up yourself.
So it is possible to clear out those collections and increase. It is possible and get a good credit score then. So we could establish that to everybody that is struggling with certain things on your credit. It is possible to remove them, right? Maintain that honor at all times, answer to those notices through the mail, file appropriate complaints, or hire professionals.
You can hire professionals, right? Like this product itself, right? If you go to Vermillion Vitez and you want to consult with us, depending how much is on your report, it can go from anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000, depending how much you're owed. Now, if you go ahead and do this battle and you have made your case and they are not removing it, litigation would always be the next step. Now, that's not my advice. That's just from my experience, right? Benny and I have dealt with this situation from our experience. That would be the next step. You might want to go to the what's it called? The state attorney general.
Oh, okay.
You want to go to the state attorney general, right? If you don't even know, you can look it up online and figure out how you can do a complaint with the state attorney general. Some people don't even tell you that. They think it's just CFPB and BBB. No, there is levels to this information. It gets much bigger than that. I'm not the only. Everybody has their way of success.
Now, let's say this. All right. We established that I cleared all my credit history. I hired a professional. I hired Ray. Ray just said that he did my things. He filed according letters with CFPB. He got my credit score up to 750, and now I'm ready to start my business, right? Now I got my business, right? I got my LLC. What should I do now, Ray? How can I move that LLC to a bigger credit stacking so I could fund my future plan? How am I able to do that and achieve that? Like, what should be the steps that I should take?
One of the first steps that you should take when you're going to go ahead and credit stack, it's all dependent on how you structure the LLC. Where is the LLC going to go? What addresses it's going to have? 1-800 number potentially, possibly, right? A website might help you. Who knows, right? You have to consult with us and we will give you more in-depth answers. Not saying that's what you necessarily have to do, but there are certain data points that have to be met with the lender for you to go ahead and go for more credits. Now, if you have these three major, if you have these three major credit cards, right, at high limits, say you have a Chase, an Amex, and a discovery, and you had a personal loan, right? You had a personal loan, you paid off $50,000. Let's just say that, right? In a short period of time, right? Not a well for the credit cards. Say you had them for like 7, 8 years, and you had a personal loan at 50,000, and you paid that quick. Right?
So like a history. I needed to have a history for that.
You need to have a history. If you don't have a history, it's not gonna be beneficial for you. You're going to be banking on the business itself and how it's performing. Now that's a different way to approach credit, right? I'm just showing you the different ways of approaching credit and what it is. Now, if you're looking for removing liability, it changes the entire game. You might have different structure, right? You may operate business in one area and then you ask for money in the other area.
So
And we've talked about that before. We call that Willie Corporation.
so what? I know we got personal credit. We got the three business bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, and last one, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. What would be a credit agency for a business, right? So how would a business get business credit for those fundings? Because my credit is already in perfect shape, like you said. I got those histories checking out. I got a personal loan, right? I got some lines of credit on my name. Now, how about the business? How can we elevate the business credit side?
Dun Bradstreet is one of the few ways that you can go ahead and for the business side. Then you have Equifax and Experian, and then you have one more, and I can't remember the name. But
a lot of people don't know about that Dun Bradstreet, do they?
Some people don't know about Dun Bradstreet. They don't. So some people don't know that TransUnion doesn't do business. So there's a lot of different information out there.
Really?
And, well, it's just that some people aren't doing business. You would only know this information if you're doing business, right? And if you're new to the business realm, you won't know this for your first time. It's not common knowledge, right? Some people just go to the bank and give them their social, right? Like,
yeah, there's a specific law that says that we don't have to. But they
that we're not legal attorneys or anything like that, but it's one of those like only federal agents are
authorized.
Are authorized. So
true. So a Duns and Bradstreet number. Can anybody apply for those? Like, is it hard to get for building your business credit? Then, how would somebody approach that situation?
I would say a Dun Bradstreet number isn't difficult. It's just you go to Dun Bradstreet and plug in your business's information. It's not difficult to do any of this stuff. It's just knowing where to go to get it done. Some people haven't read a single law. If you go ahead and go through CFPB and it's your first time and you're doing a complaint, you could try to chat GBT. I've tried that in the very beginning. Chat GBT's been out for a while. It didn't work for me at that moment, but maybe Chat GBT got more advanced, right?
True.
I had to learn what to say. I had to learn how to communicate. Right? A lot of people, they stay quiet. They don't know how to communicate. So you have to understand where you fit in this realm. You have to see what it is that you are trying to accomplish. If you are a person that's just looking to get more credits, right? There is a way of getting the more credits, still have your job, right? And not have to think about starting a business per se, but also do business credit to go put your money somewhere else, right? We could just say a life insurance policy. I'm not gonna say which one, but you could do it in a life insurance policy because you're gonna borrow the money at a 0.0% APR, and guess what? You have 8 to 12% that grows through the life insurance, right? Depending which life insurance. Then when the year ends, right, and you have to pay the creditors back, what can you do then? Oh, you can go on a different type of loan to pay back the first loan and start making payments on the one for the major loan. Now your credit looks phenomenal, right? Because these are different types of credit moves. You're using as collateral. You're using your own money from a policy as collateral. Different game. This is a mind-blowing game. People wouldn't understand how this all fits together. It takes time to understand this.
But then that would come with the structure of, you wouldn't want to get a life insurance policy on a business. You want to get a life insurance policy on the top of the pyramid, which would be the trust, and then that's where we go off distributing the assets, right? But a business wouldn't be very good to own a life insurance policy, I'm presuming.
Well, look, when it comes to where, who, and what owns the policy, it just depends who you are. There's different strategies, right? Some people will have themselves, and when they die, they're not getting no life benefit to this life insurance policy, right? It's a life insurance policy, and you're not going to be able to benefit any of this in your life. And it's called life insurance. It's not called death insurance. So there's a big misconception. So
That is so true.
so
You gotta use it while you're still alive.
look, there's a lot of different things in the realm of the language. They call us a dead entity, right? They call our name a dead entity. They do that, and then they're giving you life insurance, but then you can't benefit from your life, right? Why is it every time you go to court? Think about it. Why is it that you go every time you go to court, or they give you a ticket, you automatically are liable? Why is that? Because someone who is dead can't defend themselves, right? It's just food for thought. Now, this isn't legal advice or any of that, right? I'm just saying we have also life insurance, and it's not called death insurance.
I have a couple of policies myself, and I'm proud to have them. I mean, ever since I got them, I do feel a lot happier, because I know that whoever's going to come behind me is going to get a little bit of something, and I'm still going to be able to use it if I need it. So that's lovely. I would recommend anybody getting one. Again, contact your agent, whoever it is. They could probably set that up. Consult with us, please.
There's many people who think that like when you go to your job, your employer, they have a life insurance policy inside of it, right? Every strategy is different. You can also get life insurance policies out of your own family members. People don't know that, right? There's a lot of different things that you can do in this realm. So why would you want to do it? It's not about getting rich. For some people, it's not about getting rich quick. It's about getting rich eventually, right? And some people want to see results massively quick. If you have a skill set and you have a major skill set that the community needs, then yes, you might see exponential quickness there, right? Versus somebody who doesn't know where they're gonna go and hasn't built their skill sets, right? So, Vinny, I want to ask you, right? Other than placing your assets within an LLC, can you place your assets in other entities, and why would you do that?
Good question indeed. It's definitely good to place assets in multiple entities because of the protection it's going to give you, right? I'm going to give a quick example. You got a car on your LLC. Okay, nice car. Let's say a Rolls Royce. You got a car under your LLC. You just got a Lamborghini and you place it under the same LLC, right? Guess what? You go over there on the sidewalk, you hit somebody on the leg, they broke the leg, they're going to sue you for that Lamborghini, right? But now they're going to get your Rolls Royce too, because it's under the same umbrella. So instead of keeping all of your assets inside of one limited liability company, you want to keep individual assets on individual LLCs, being the main holder, the trust. But LLCs are easy to open, so you got no problem there, right? But yes, Ray, I would highly recommend keeping separate types of assets and different types of entities, especially homes. I mean, you could get tax exemption on a couple of homes if you donate it to a foundation. Not legal financial advice, but that's just one of the laws. A 508c3 faith-based organization, right? According to the IRS code. You guys could look that up. Those are tax exempt entities. If you're using that home or that building for any charity organization, I mean, that's going to be tax exempt at a certain bracket. So you guys could look that up. You guys could do your research, and different entities benefit you in different ways. You just don't want to put a bunch of assets on the same place. I think, what would you add on to that, Ray? What would you add on? Like, would you place a lot of entities there, or a lot of assets inside one entity, or how would you structure that?
Just depending on what I have, right? If I have something in a business realm, I keep it with the business, right? And then I'll structure it underneath that business with different types of LLCs potentially, right? That's something I might do, right? Mm-hmm. I might also have a whole different entity for just personal end stuff that I personally have. But at the highest level, why would you have anything personal? You would just try to keep everything in a business structure. Obviously, you can't get a Lamborghini, but why would you want one at the highest level? That's like, who are you really trying to impress when you have it all? If you really want those stuff, there is ways to protect it. It is what it is. They still carry value. I'm not saying you're not allowed to have your own taste, right? But doing things for others, not my type of thing. If you don't need to, why, right? If you don't need to. Now, sometimes, because I think it was Jeff Bezos, or it was one of those, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, that drove in a Honda.
It was Elon Musk too, drove on a little. Oh no, it was Jeff Bezos. That's right, it was Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos, or like Bill Gates. Some of these people that reach these certain lengths, there was a certain obsession. It was an obsession towards the materialistic thing. It was the game that they were playing that they realized that this monopoly game that they gave us was out here in the real world, and that we could do so much more out here. Now, I'm not saying they don't eventually go ahead and have luxurious things. Everybody has their own liking. But I'm saying, if you wanted to play it real smart and you're driving, I don't know, a Raptor, a Ford Raptor, right?
Pretty good, yeah.
Pretty good truck. It's not cheap, right?
Nope.
For some people, that's not cheap, right? If you want $1 million car, imagine you scratch that thing. So that's just one of the things I would say. Like, it just depends what you want to do, and the jurisdiction matters. What jurisdiction you're in matters. A lot of people don't understand what jurisdiction is, right? Some people don't understand what the assignment of this debt is. Where does it get assigned to? Why are they assigning it? How do they bundle everything? How do debt collections buy the debt, right?
Ooh.
Are they just buying your debt one at a time?
No.
Hey, maybe yes. I don't know. Do your own research, right? How are they doing certain offerings, right? Some of you guys are at a level that have $5 to $7 million and maybe have another $8 million in credit, right? That's nice. Someone else at that same game that they're playing is going for billions of dollars in credit. They have figured out how to use other people's money to create projects. You can raise money to go buy an apartment complex, a distressed one, and fix it up if that's your type of niche, right? We have different types of strategies here. We think of things outside the box.
Yep.
Things that are in front of your face, but you have to be able to understand it and comprehend it. And it's a securities game. You need to understand the Securities Exchange Act. You need to understand what 10K forms that. You need to understand what our prospectus is. Oh, didn't mean to give you that information, but it is what it is.
Well, I did a course, if I'm not mistaken, our course, right? Our capital raising course. It's online. You guys could go there and check it out a little bit if you guys want to understand a little bit more about the terminology. Go right ahead. Okay, go hit that like button and subscribe. Go watch it. It's going to be beneficial for you if you want to build that company for capital raising. That's what Ray is referring to. There's a lot of different little details that we don't want to keep on saying on these lives, but right, Ray does a great job at managing all the credits. And my question, once you have established the good business foundation and the good business credit, right? So you got all that money. What now? Let's say I got a line of credit for $100,000, right? What would be beneficial for a business owner to do with that money? Like, how would you approach it? Give us a business idea, right? Of how would you approach, just got $100,000 line of credit or a loan for your business. Now what do we do?
Look, some of this information I'm not going to disclose because they don't want me to disclose it to you. But one of the smart ideas you could do, right? I told you is a life insurance. I gave you one idea. Now I'm going to give you a second idea. You can go for fix and flips. Go find a distressed property. Partner up with a real estate agent. Partner up with some like-minded individuals. Get in contact with some contractors. Get estimates. And get into a fix and flip, right? It's complicated the first time, but you'll never get through it until you get through the first time.
Right.
You're always going to stay there.
Right. There's a niche for everybody.
There's a niche for everybody. You can do life insurance. You can do real estate fix and flip. You could do many different. You can get into car flipping if you needed to, right? And start a business like that. You could start an e-commerce page. Start doing content, engaging with people. Get a CRM. I don't know what to tell you. There's certain things that you can elevate your business, right? We here at Vermillion Vitez, we have a team of experts. We have a team of attorneys that we work with on a personal level. So there's different things that give us an advantage to be able to give you all this information at the speeds we're giving it. We have to have a team to back this up. This isn't simple. This is a complex system. You have to understand how to navigate systems for businesses, right? So understanding these things would behoove you. So I don't know, Benny. I don't know what these guys want from me.
Hey, I mean, I think they got a lot of fundamental basics on what they should do with the credit if their credit is in bad situation, if how they need to approach it, who should they contact, and then after that, their next step for the business. They got a great piece of the puzzle that might, tweak something on their minds. And you could always obtain more knowledge just by reading. Just read a little bit and everything is going to fit together perfectly. All right. What do you think, Ray?
I'm thinking that there's so much that we could talk about. We could go throughout the whole night. We really could. The information that's out there is exponential, right?
Yeah. I'm like, no, but I could cut this here later on. I'm going to upload this video.
I'm joking, but like we could do so many different things and contribute to you in so many different ways. It just depends on it. How, if you bring that conversation to us, you bring us that conversation, we'll show you what we can do, right? We've worked with so many different individuals and have seen so much success. They're living lives at the highest level, buying the things they want, living out their dreams, right?
Agreed.
It's not about getting rich tomorrow, right? It's about getting rich eventually. For some of you people. For some other people, you're already rich and you just want to 10x what you already have. And we can do that for you too.
Correct.
I am talking to every bit of the consumer that is interested in what we have over here, and we will produce the result. It's not difficult for some of these things, right?
Once you know the principles, it works with anything, with any kind of business, any kind of person. It fits like a puzzle. It's all the same structuring, the same principles that works on sales and investments, raising capital, building. It all depends on how you would like to be helped. That's simple as it. We here at Vermillion Vitez, right? We offer consultation. If you guys would like to reach out to us and contact us to discuss what you would like to do and what you would like to do for the benefit of the loved ones, right? Your loved ones. So feel free to reach out, go to our website, subscribe to our newsletter, and you're going to get a free copy of a unincorporated business organization PDF, right? That's like a business trust. You're going to get a free PDF about that. Just type in your little email.
I'll break down one thing before we end the night, right? It's gonna be a real quick nightcap, right? So, for everyone wondering what is our services, I want to make it clear right now. We do a variety of things. It just depends on the consumer. You have to come to us, right? Hey, I have this problem with my credit. Okay, great. Hey, I'm doing great. I am successful. I have $10 million. What other ideas can you bring me to 10x this business? Okay, that's a partnership deal. People at the higher levels and the people who we are negotiating with, we do NDAs and contracts. These are special deals that we can't talk out loud. Sometimes they go anywhere from 100,000 to 500,000 to a couple million, depending on the client. To have us on board is a different price than you just starting out.
Agreed.
So it's all depending, because we know how to take a business all the way to the top. What is it that you want, right?
What is it that you need?
What is it that you need, right? We have services from trust service. That's, if you want to talk about the ones on the website that you can get right now, right? You don't, with no consultation, you can get a trust service. We'll produce it. We'll have one-on-one consultations with you to make sure that you are ready to set up the accounts and to be able to accept the money into the account, right? Right? We also have LLC creation. We also have nonprofits and faith-based.
We also have members page, and we also have our capital raising course and a couple of other courses that you guys could check out on the website. VermillionVitez.com. I'm gonna put a little.
Right now, these prices are at a discount. Some of these prices are at 80% discount. I know you may not see it, but a lot of these prices are at a big discount. And that's for a limited time only. Once these prices raise, they're gonna raise.
Or they're just gonna disappear and we're not gonna do trusts anymore because we don't have time for them anymore. Who knows? We're off to different ventures.
Right now, we have the time for it.
Yes.
Us personally, we have the time to sit with you and create this content and release it out to the community so you can have it, right? Later on, it might not be us. It may not be us. It may be very hard to get in contact with us.
At this point right now, me and Ray are wanting to help you guys.
We're here to contribute. We're not helping you. We're gonna contribute.
So
Who
I
are
guess
we in contribution?
any final remarks, my friend?
Also do credit repair if you need it. That can go from anywhere from 1,500 to 5,000, right? Depending on your situation. We do other extensive things depending on the client, but that would be done in consultation. You know, CPS.
CPS.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
I'm like,
Yeah.
CPS. I'm like, hey. Anyway,
Right?
I'm
Yeah,
Vinicius
they're
Paschoalini.
gonna-
You
they're
guys
gonna
stay
Google
blessed
it
by
and
the
not know.
best. Huh?
They're gonna Google it and not know, man. They're gonna be like, he's talking bullshit. He don't know what he's talking. Ah, that's gonna be a funny one. It's gonna be a good joke.
All right, my
Good night.
friends. Peace. You guys stay blessed by the best. Have a great night. Thank
God
you.
bless America.